Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Is this movie as crappy as it sounds?
Do you know Jack Schmidt?
And how many poop jokes are we going to make on this episode?
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig. And we finally swam through enough crap to get to the end of these 4 movies.
4 movies, yeah.
Where we are doing our fourth and final in our series of horribly named horror movies. But quickly, before I get into what this one is about, because it's so hard to tell from the name, I'm going to answer those 3 questions from before the theme music played. 1, I mean, yeah, you will, and 1 shit ton.
Yeah, go line those up.
Yeah, pretty much. Or have a memory from, 2 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So if you're anything like me, go line it up.
So for those who've been following along, we did Deathbed, The Bed That Eats.
The Ginger Dead Man.
Last week, we did The Evil Bong.
And this week, for our final of the 4, we're doing Monsturd.
That's true. All right. Well, here's the premise. Somebody had too much free time on their hands and got their friends to act in a movie. Oh, sorry. The premise of the movie. A little girl
wants
is
to tell
telling her
dad
a scary bedtime
story.
story. Yeah. And it involves a serial killer who escapes from jail, gets into some radioactive sludge, and of course, that makes him turn into a poop monster. Yeah, we watched this. We actually sat through this entire thing.
Yeah.
I have so much and nothing to say at the same time. Why don't we roll the trailer so you can see what we had to sit through?
Hey, everything okay in here, kiddo?
Daddy, I can't sleep. Can you tell me a bedtime story?
I'm always telling you a bedtime story, Munchkins. Why don't you tell me a bedtime story for a change?
Okay, but it's real scary.
Holy shit!
Let me guess. got a giant turd man living in the sewer, dragging people down into their toilets.
All right. Down we go. All righty.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we watched
an
hour
70
and
something
20 minutes of that.
Yeah, it wasn't a full 90, thankfully. But here's the weird thing: I kind of want to see another movie by it's a spin-off. I don't think it's a sequel.
Yeah.
Because that happened. Anyway, so yeah, that's the basic premise. Serial killer gets turned into a poop monster and lives crappily ever after. I'm sorry that I'm ashamed of that.
Oh, whatever. That's enough.
Anyway, so want to tell the folks why we're actually here, because they think we're here to review movies. But
No.
what is our actual purpose?
We're here only to sell ourselves out to big corporations.
Absolutely. And
Specifically big corporations
Who
you
will
will
pay
have
us.
never heard of.
Those giant corporations you don't know, they back up Brinks trucks full of cash to us, and they say, please advertise our things.
They're like a underground society.
Like in what are those movies?
John Wick.
Yeah, the John Wick movies.
Our companies that we get
Work
paid
with
by.
closely.
Yeah. The huge ones that run the world.
The lizard people.
Yes.
Anyway, but these are real products made by real companies that really want us to keep saying real.
Just to really drive it home.
Yes, because this doesn't have anything to do with how real it is.
At all.
This week, Gory Story Time is brought to you by Now That's What I Call Toilet Humor, numbers 1 and 2. The CD double disc set of pop music parodies with a urine and feces twist. We guarantee you'll never hear songs like these anywhere else, nor want to. From our Faith Hill parody called This Piss to our new take on Wipeout, we know that anyone with a 4-year-old boy's sense of humor will love this set of CDs. If you order now, you'll also receive our bonus Christmas album full of holiday ass-icks. Now, that's what I call toilet humor, numbers 1 and 2.
Oh my. And by Is It Real? The card game where one player describes an awful movie, TV show, song, game, etc., and you have to decide if it is real or if our writers, I, made it up. In the vein of Cards Against Humanity, but not as clever, comes Is It Real? For up to 4 players, Is It Real shows your deep knowledge of pop culture that never quite was. Coming soon from GST Games. So if you know the show Hail Honey, I'm Home, the Hitler sitcom, or the movie Frankenhooker, Is It Real is the game for you.
Truth. All right, now, the problem with doing the movies that we've been doing is they don't have a lot of behind-the-scenes information on IMDb. But through hard work and diligence
and research,
I did come up with
research.
10.
Instead of
IMDb
4.
had 4, but I found more information. I did.
Yeah, more than the creators
so we
of the
will
movie
try
had.
to do our best. You got your list, right?
I have my list.
Number 1, this movie was shot over the course of 2 years. And
I don't know what they were doing with all of the downtime.
having real jobs probably.
IMDb facts call this a ripoff of Jack Frost from '97.
Which we will discuss the fact that I don't believe that it actually is. We'll get into that. But all the scenes with the police car were shot in 1 day.
Yeah, no surprises there. Directors Dan West and Rick Popko persuaded co-workers from their job to play various small parts in the movie.
Which is kind of something we're looking to do for that script I wrote.
Yeah.
Among the actual credits are various joke credits. See, because these people knew they were going for a B-movie comedy thing. They were kind of trying to do the thing. And this is one of those examples of why it takes a very special movie to happen. But here's some of the various joke credits that were there. Second Unit Sponge Bath Administrator, Randy Candy. Fluffer, Uncle Richie.
Oh boy.
Gravy Mopper, Bob the Bum. Best Boy, Ben Dover. Gaffer, what the hell is a gaffer? Focus Puller, Yo Mama. And Hair was a very bad musical. Yeah.
Oh my. The soundtrack has one song, number 2, The Ballad of the Monsturd, written by Kip Phillips, Dan West, Rick Popko, and Lisa Rain, performed by Kip Phillips and Lisa Rain.
So co-written by the writers/directors and sometimes star of the movies.
Right.
This movie. Anyway, in multiple shots, you could see crew reflections, and in the sewer, you could see a fog machine off to one side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Co-writers and co-directors Rick Popko and Dan West played Deputy Rick and Deputy Dan in Monsturd.
And, of course, just so you know, this movie is in a shared universe with a spin-off sequel, something from 2008 called Retar Dead. It's a living dead but mentally unstable version.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
where the co-writers and co-directors also reprise those same deputy characters. And of course,
this film has one of the worst parodies of South Park ever put on film.
yeah, and that's not even an opinion. That's just a thing.
That's
that
a fact.
exists.
And Rotten Tomatoes, the people,
Gave it 41%, which is higher than they give some actual good horror movies, and that kind of pisses me off.
Yep. And just to fit the trend of the last few weeks,
Yeah,
the
all
critics
4 of
didn't even
these-
watch this movie.
Yep. There's not a critic score for all 4 of these movies we have done.
Nope. And I
Nor
can't
should there be,
necessarily blame
because
them, really.
Who would make a regular show or articles or whatever? Who would on a regular basis review movies and choose these?
Nobody with brains.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit before we get into the other stuff, because we have a little bit of extra time the way this
Yes,
worked out, about the fact that they said it's a ripoff of Jack Frost. Okay, now listen.
Jack Frost, for starters,
Was Full Moon, which is this
Full Moon,
ginger dead man.
which means they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they make these movies correctly, where they're funny, they're stupid, they're horror, they're bloody, there's usually boobs, they're corny, and they're hilarious.
And they're filthy.
And
Like,
don't get
they
me wrong, this shit was corny too, but
And
peanutty,
nutty, right.
but a little different. There was also kind of a Ninja Turtle-y influence to one part. There was, and how many horror movies other than Jack Frost that came before are the bad guy is about to die and transfers his soul into something or gets transformed into something? It
happens a lot.
Between Chucky and the movie Shocker and Jack Frost is
Jack
one of
Frost
those.
is one of them.
But
And
there's a lot.
Monsturd, of course.
I pointed out some Jaws-like references that were thrown in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as soon as I said it, you're like, oh yeah, definitely. So it's not a rip-off of Jack Frost as much as it's a parody of those type of movies that have
But here's the issue. Those
serial
movies
killers going
are a
into
parody.
bars. Not all of them. Child's Play wasn't.
That one was kind of self-referential.
Not the first one.
Wow.
Not until Bride of Chucky, and that was number 4. So no.
When it really found itself.
No. No, because that's what led to Seed of Chucky, and let's not go there.
Let's
but
never
anyway,
go there again.
while IMDb calls it a ripoff of Jack Frost, it's not a ripoff of Jack Frost. It's a ripoff of horror/B horror movies, where it's parodying while being, to call it a B movie is unfair to B movies. It's like a M movie.
Or further.
Or further. I mean, it's bad. It really is. In the European Union, they would call it shite.
Yeah.
They just would.
They would.
Anyway, what out of all of the glaring goodness that is Monsturd, what was your favorite scene?
All right, you guys got a glimpse of it in the trailer, and it was absolutely amazing. One of the cops has a puppet that he wants to bring to the school to tell kids how bad it is to smoke weed. And
it's a hippie.
It's a hippie with a doobie in his mouth, and it's a doobie smoking puppet that he wants to show the kids that is bad. And
so he beats it.
He just beats the hell out of it. Just, police brutality is hilarious in this movie because he just beats the hell out of this puppet for no reason. Just slams it against the wall like it's resisting arrest or something.
For being one of those damn hippie...
doobie smoking hippies.
Yeah. Now, my favorite scene... Oh, what the hell did I took
this?
The suit. Yeah, my God, it's not even a scene. Until the very end, when you see the suit out in the light, when it's in the dark and it's like shiny and wet, it looks like a turd, and that's what it's supposed to look like.
It really does.
It's actually, considering this looks like a no-budget film.
That suit looks like
it was great.
Looked like they actually put some work into it.
I mean, really.
In the dark and in that bathroom scene. But when they brought him out into the sun...
And they did put, like, corn and peanuts and, like...
They did.
It was detailed.
It
was detailed crap.
Gave it detail, and it was gross. And I loved it. That was certainly great.
I couldn't remember what I had said, but yeah, that's absolutely what it was. Now, a little bit harder is, what is your least favorite part of this film?
Wow.
Because let's call it a film and give it the respect it's due.
All right, that's it. They're canceling the show. My least favorite part has to be the fact that early on in the film, there's a phone call to this fly expert, right? And guy says, "We need 1 million flies. Give me 2 days." All right. 2 days later, guy shows up with 1 million flies. And a dog carrier.
And a dog carrier with, like...
holes. And you know a dog carrier.
You swing the door shut and there's, like, big square holes. Yeah,
holes
that's
in the
what
side.
He strapped down in the back of his truck and drove 1 million flies who did not escape it.
Couldn't, apparently. 1 million flies in a dog carrier. And then he showed up.
I mean...
And it ate the Monsturd.
It has to be really bad to make the logic of this movie. It has to be really bad logic to stick out as the worst logic in the movie. I'll put it that way.
Right.
It was
1 million flies in a dog carrier.
So greatly awful. It's your least favorite, but it was hilarious that they just went with it.
They went with it for sure. They certainly did go with it.
But I was laughing. I'm sorry.
I was laughing at them, though, not with them. That's the issue, is they thought
there's
we were
no way
laughing
that
with
they
them.
thought that made sense. You know they left it in there because they thought it was funny. And I was laughing with them. I'm sorry, I was.
I was laughing at them.
But my least favorite part...
Oh, boy.
Boy, what was my least favorite? Because there were so many bad things.
You said you were going with,
Did I actually have an answer? What?
You said you were going with that.
I guess.
You said we were...
I know.
Yeah.
Fine. The parody of South Park. They just hand drew bad versions of the characters and had the lips be moving, like superimposed lips on it to talk.
Yep.
And holy cow. And they had a Mr. Hanky parody. He was a Easter poo and talking about poo eggs. And oh, yeah. This may surprise you in a movie called Monsturd, but it was not clever.
No.
It actually was lowbrow humor.
What?
Anyway, so yeah. But
Yeah.
I was debating because there's so many bad things
There
in this
are a
movie.
lot of really bad things in this movie.
I mean, the acting, none of them were actors.
And none of them were acting.
And none of them, yeah. They left in shots of a kid screaming something and then, couldn't keep a straight face.
Yeah.
They kept the, smirking, breaking.
Kid was
of the
banging on
scene.
the door saying, "Don't go in there. The turd monster's going to kill you."
And smirking the whole time.
And she just couldn't keep a straight face. Which I can't blame her. Because did you hear what she was saying?
But at least the wraparound is kind of a really awful take on The Princess Bride.
Yeah. Very bad.
But that's what it kind of was.
Kind of.
Except the kid was telling the
camcorder.
adult the story instead of the other way around.
And it was legitimately, it was done on a camcorder or the camera on a
less.
flip phone.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but still.
It was bad.
All right.
That's
is
what
there
it was.
anything else you could say? Oh, well, let's rate this on a scale of 1 to 2. Because poop. No, on a scale of
That's
1 to
high.
10. And for these, we've been going with
How much fun did we
had.
have?
And we did have some fun because we were mocking it the whole way through.
I'm going to go with a 4.5.
Yeah, that's about where I'm going to land too. As a movie, it's
Like a,
less than a 2.
Yeah.
This poop movie is less than a number 2. But
But-
for the fun, it's 4.5. Yeah, that's good.
4.5. It wasn't fun, is what we're getting at.
Well, there was some fun, but the fun we were having was at it more than with it.
Very much. But
If it wasn't
this
for
is,
our sense of humor and me and him trying to crack each other up, it would have been less fun.
for certain, because we got about 10 minutes in, he looked at me and said, "Are you sure we can do this?"
I did. I almost bailed.
I almost allowed it. But if this is your kind of thing, it's
And-
free on Fossum TV.
Yeah. And we were going to do Ginger Dead Man versus the Evil Bong because those were two of the movies we had done.
But we realized we don't want to jump so far ahead and not know what we're
Yeah,
going into.
It actually continues a story that happens in
following
movies we hadn't
characters.
seen. And
It's like, I don't
between
know
that
who that
and the
is.
fact that that wasn't my original thought
yeah,
about
we didn't
this.
plan on doing.
Because Full Moon is its
Full Moon.
own type of genre. They do the Puppet Master, but mostly they do Ginger Dead Man and Uncle Sam, where it's like an Uncle Sam killer.
They
which
did Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Jack Frost, which was really good.
It really was. But it was a good version of this. The Cornball, Evil Bong was a decent one.
And he was chasing after one kid in that.
Yeah.
He actually had a point.
True. Anyway,
But yeah, we will certainly
we'll go back and do
revisit some
Ginger Dead Man and Evil Bong.
of
type
those
stuff.
and some of their other stuff, like Uncle Sam. Eventually, we're gonna
Yeah,
have
we'll
to
do like the Full Moon 4
Yeah.
movies, So anyone that's a fan, go ahead and hit us up at the on the Facebook page because I don't really use the email anymore that we have for the show.
Yep.
What do we do now?
That stuff on the side of the screen. Yes, you
Yeah,
can
that-
go to Fact TV channel 1076. Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook, and like I said, if you've watched any of the Full Moon movies, hit us up with that. But follow Gory Storytime, and you can always give a like and a follow to Fact TV's page.
Yeah, they do this show live on Facebook when we
Do it.
do it. So if you're watching,
And many other things.
if you're watching, what's up? You're welcome for the art that we just laid upon you.
Yeah, right. Also, let's see, factdate.com. You can watch episodes of this. You can watch episodes of a bunch of their other shows.
Old shows that we've done before, other shows that people do on the channel, board meetings, everything. You just find all of it up on factdate.com.
Yep.
You can follow us on the Twitters. I'm at Jiggly Firm Brain.
And I'm at Craig Jakes, all lowercase, all one word.
Neither of us talk about the show.
Actually, Jiggly Firm Brain, he just quotes things that he thinks are funny that I say throughout the day.
Yeah, just random in conversation
And he does give
pieces.
almost zero context most of the time.
They're little golden turd nuggets of awesomeness that he just lays around all day.
Yeah, just
Yeah, basically.
also, you can check out my YouTube channel. Just look for Juggalo Jakes, or you can look up Gory Storytime. It's got music videos. It's got a bunch of stuff. And Fact TV also has one, and they post the newer episodes of this that I haven't been.
Yes. So, until next week.
When we do movies you'll actually want to watch.
Or possibly even have heard of.
True.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
I have no idea. And we won't until next week when we watch whatever it is. But until next week, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.